Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Misha Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th Anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now, let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi everyone, my name's Nikki and I will be playing Delphine Ruin Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and I have found the gender fluid. I will not be sharing it. I'm playing Forged from Failures, the Bone Gnawer Rune.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lilith, and I have stolen the gender fluid, and I will keep it all to myself. Thank you very much. And I'll be playing Juniper and the Ragbash Black Fury.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben, and I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
All right. Before we get into this week's story and get everyone caught up to date, we have a very special and very important announcement that we would like to debut tonight. So let's take a look. You heard that right. The Tampaverse is growing and we want you to be a part of it. So if you fit those qualifications, please apply immediately because we want to get auditions started right away. That being said, on another programming note, there will be no episode of Hellhounds next week as a certain birthday boy is taking a much deserved vacation, that birthday boy being me. So we will see you back here on the 21st with our next episode of Hellhounds. But to repeat, there will be no episode next week on the 14th. Now, let's get everyone caught up to date. Last week was a very, very interesting week for the Hellhounds as some information came to light about their quarry and the threat that is surrounding the area. First, we saw Delphine attempt to deal with the matter of her parents' haunting, only to find that she was confronted by a bane of addiction that took the shape of herself. When she couldn't find any way to escape the clutches of the Addiction Bane, she called out to help. And who answered? None other than the spirit of Fenris, who was able to break the Bane's hold on her, allowing her time to escape, but only further solidifying a pact or bond that this particular pack seems to be creating with the wolf spirit. We then saw Forged and Jester get into a conversation, further their relationship, build a bond, as Forged was hoping to learn the Song of Rage, a tool that could be quite necessary when they go to combat the leech threat that has been infected by the growing plants around them. However, Forged had an encounter with a bane of his very own, a bane of rage, one that was feeding upon his need for revenge after the death of his friend, as well as some things that are yet to come to light for our dear Forged. Then we saw Ray and Charles have a heart-to-heart of sorts, where Ray, still seeking answers to his problem, found that there would be no quarter given in this particular conversation, as he was told to do what needs to be done and share the burden with his pack. Now, Raymond has the massive weight on his shoulders of deciding what to tell and who to tell about Jordan and the affliction Jordan is suffering. And finally, Juniper and Stakes went to scout out the fairgrounds near the amphitheater. This is where they found exactly what they were looking for, the epicenter of the infected leech activity. As they entered the amphitheater, they found several of the infected creatures wandering the various rows of seats. Then, as they attempted to get away so that they could report what they found, they were confronted by the leech himself, who attacked them with surprise and got into a fight with Juniper. Juniper managed to tear off one of his arms, but not without taking a little bit of damage herself, and Stakes taking a huge infected bite from the leech. Now, they return to the rest of the pack to report their findings in our first scene. It's the same night as Juniper and Stakes' investigation into the amphitheater. An emergency pack meeting is called as Stakes and Juniper return to the cairn with their found prize of a living, quote-unquote, specimen, as well as the news of where the leech has been hiding and where the center of activity seems to be. As you arrive at the cairn, a bonfire is built within the hearth. Forged has supplied beers and marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers to make s'mores. But now the scene is yours.
Forge is looking a little bit annoyed by this fact that we were just suddenly called in this random meeting, though he's trying to not look the part too much. He's got very comfy clothes on, just normal t-shirt, sweatpants, or like short sweatpants, as he's sitting by the fire, beer next to him, a s'more being made in his other hand as he's starting to light it up by the fire. That he'll look over to everyone else and say, what's the emergency meeting here about? We got a bunch of shit we're going to talk about.
Stakes is currently holding a bandage to her side where there is a large bloody gouge ripped out of her flesh that she has been in the process of healing, but it's still slow going after her encounter up in Michigan.
I mean, I assume we're going to talk about that because that looks fresh.
I am is standing next to Stakes, doing everything I can not to insist that she leans on me a little bit. I definitely look stressed, and there is a bit of blood smeared on my clothes, and my hair is just an absolute mess. I just look like a mess. I'm dirty, grungy, covered in blood. Hair is everywhere. My fists are clenching and unclenching, and I am also holding on to an arm.
Now, the arm that you're holding isn't wriggling too much, but you can tell in your grip that there is still some reaction happening within the appendage.
I am just very visibly grossed out and distraught, but holding on to it with clenched teeth.
So, obviously something happened. Do you mind filling us in a little bit about what you guys found out? Because it seems like a little bit more than just investigating happened.
Stakes kind of clears her throat. Yeah, we started by looking for some animals behaving strangely. We then found a flock of birds, not known for being nocturnal, flying in a very direct and unusual pattern. We decided to follow after them, and we ended up at the Tampa Fairgrounds. She then looks over towards Juniper. Why don't you tell them the rest?
I take a deep breath and close my eyes for a moment before opening them and looking at everybody. As we were investigating, we went into the amphitheater because there were no signs of any life or anything outside of the birds. And inside, we found at least a dozen, maybe more, of those fungus-infected creatures ambling about. We managed to stay hidden. We didn't alert anything. And we were able to sneak back out. And on our way to exiting, the ground in the field opened, or rather something came out of it and grabbed onto us and pulled itself out, and immediately we were fighting what seemed to be an infected leech. It was wearing a flannel. It was a fucking beast of a monster. And despite, I take a moment and swallow. Despite our best efforts, it bit Stakes. And it threw her, and I knew I had to make sure it was either incapacitated or it would flee. And I managed to tear its arm off. And then I grabbed Stakes and ran. I just ran till we got back here.
So wait, did you kill it or not? You kind of left that
No.
vague.
It sunk right back into the ground after it was able to get away from me. It did an insane amount of damage to the both of us in a matter of seconds. We're both lucky that we're still alive.
I'm assuming the arm that you have is from the leech, because you said you were trying to incapacitate it.
Yes, I did just say I tore its arm off.
She did just say that.
You know, sometimes I just miss things. It happens.
I want to give Juniper a lot of credit. She showed a great deal of restraint. And if it weren't for her actions, she's right. We probably wouldn't be alive. So she deserves all of the credit for what was done. She deserves the credit for taking the arm. She did really good. Strange thing is, the arm didn't wither or turn to ash like it normally does with leeches when you remove a body part. This one is still wriggling. So I believe we have the specimen you were looking for.
The Forge will stand up from his seat as he'll reach into a cooler and grab 2 beers. He'll walk over to Stakes and Juniper and offer one to each, as he'll say, shit, I mean, it sounds like pretty good fucking mission, right? I mean, we got an arm. You fucked up that thing. I mean, shit, sounds like a win all around.
Well, really quick, you said you got bit, or Stakes got bit. Are you
Yeah.
okay?
I should be.
He handled it.
I felt strange feeling after it bit me, but I had been warned about this by the elders, and I had an iron dagger on me that I was able to cut out the infection before it was able to spread too far.
I just wince as Stakes talks about it, and I take the beer and just start chugging it silently.
Forge will give a approving nod to the chugging going on there. He'll make his way back over to his seat. And he says, "So, y'all fucked it up, and we now know where that seemed like where it was, right? Where it's chilling out at. There's a bunch of them over there, and it came out of the ground, so probably where it's making his crib."
I don't think it's gonna stay there for much longer. Especially not after tonight.
Ray will lean forward a little bit, put his hands under his chin, think for a few seconds. I mean, there's a possibility that he could be running at this moment, but if this is a place that he's hunker down in for a while. This is a place that he has these infected people housed at. I mean, to move all that, to make sure that, he's not found out. And if this is a normal hunting ground for him, he probably won't leave. This might have been, to him, a one-off thing. And you both were wounded by him. He may think that he scared you off, and you guys won't come back. So, he might stay. It's a possibility.
I agree with Raymond. Leeches are very territorial, and yes, we wounded him, but he also didn't have his full force with him. What we need to be aware of is that he is going to be on watch, on guard, and knows we're probably coming.
All right. Well, we should take extra time to prepare then. Maybe do another lookout. See what's changed. See if there's any change.
I mean, that sounds like it might be a little bit more of a problem there. If he's aware now, he's on guard. If one of us goes poking around there, more likely that you get jumped by him and a bunch of other fungus zombies, seems like might not be a very good idea unless you can fuck off really fast.
Unless we scout it out during the day. We've found that they don't have a lot of activity at night. Or during the day. All their activity is at night. So if we check it out during the day, somebody with the sight to the other side goes, we might at least be able to note some very important positions as to where they are setting up. Juniper, you said you saw something in the field that we were fighting in.
Yes, there were pockets of corruption, assumedly where there were bodies buried or hiding, sleeping, whatever they fucking do. But yes, there were a lot of them.
I also have experience scouting out areas at a safe distance and still being able to gather a decent amount of information. So if we want to go in careful, I know the distance I can gather. And if we have vision from the other side, that brings a little bit more security on that. So it's definitely something we can do before we even think about planning an assault.
Yeah.
Can't take too much longer preparing for this. We can continue to scout it out, but the longer we wait, the more likely it is their numbers will grow or that they could potentially move. So I agree, but we shouldn't wait more than a few days before we actually make the attack.
Okay. All right. Ray, you and I, let's go out tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan. But I guess in that vein, do we want to start thinking, formulating a plan? And then when we gather the information, we gather the second pair of eyes, second look around of this location. We can then change the plan a little bit to what's needed. But if we come up with a core plan now, at least it gives us an idea of what we can do and what we're going to try and accomplish with this.
All right. Let me pull up a map. That'll help me explain where everything is easier. And I will take out my phone and literally just go to maps and look it up, put it on satellite so that we can see all the details.
So the amphitheater sits closest to the highway. I-4 passes almost directly by it, but Surrounding the amphitheater are large grass parking lots, almost like fields with dirt driveways that cross through it. There's also an exhibition building, as well as several other buildings nearby where they have the fairgrounds and they have artisans and regular events that take place there. This is a pretty renowned area with a lot of activity that takes place in it. It would be ripe for hunting and picking off targets based off of the number of people that come through on a regular basis. However, this also poses a detriment to any plans to assault the area, as there could be security, there could be onlookers, there could be a whole variety of things depending on when you do decide to have your assault. But Juniper points out the section of grass and parking spaces where her and Stakes had first encountered the Leech and fought them. She's also able to point out where the different pockets were that she had seen in the ground.
So it seems like, not gonna lie, trying to fight this thing during the day would probably be a pretty bad idea with all the people around, to be honest. Seems like we're gonna have to go jump them in the night.
We can create some sort of distraction for any security personnel or any staff that are on the scene. It doesn't have to be anything super flashy. Even something as simple as getting into the security system and, I don't know, running some fake scene of somebody trying to break in on the other side of the building, get people's attention there.
Do any of us even know how to do that?
Artie does.
Artie's not coming with us.
No, but I can talk to him. He can teach me.
I don't think, no offense, dog, but it's gonna be what we have 1-2 nights to do this, like a few nights. I don't think you're gonna learn how to hack a security feed and put a thing on loop in like 2 days. I mean, couldn't we just ask the camera spirit to just say like do some crazy shit or whatever?
Could do that. Could also just have him turn off the cameras the night we do the assault.
Or we could break them.
That's pretty easy. I'm good at that one. I like that time we went to the RV. That's broke the camera there and it broke it in the normal realm. We could like go around in the Umbra.
I think the best way to go about it is to lure them out. Get them out into the field, not to attack them in the building itself. Takes care of a lot of headaches, but it also gets rid of hiding spaces. This is their territory. They're probably very familiar with it. And so the best way to avoid getting ambushed is to make sure it's out in the open.
The field isn't the smart option. It can go sink into the earth. We need to get it on not grass.
Only problem
Otherwise,
is
it'll just keep sinking in and out, in and out. And Spud said if we try to dig, it'll just get deeper in. We can't fight it on grass.
only problem is though, if we try and go somewhere with concrete, that's more likely where there's people at. I mean, what you said, 92 or the highway there. That's a place of concrete, but that's going to be cars that could be coming by. We can't really stop cars coming. I mean, anywhere we go with concrete is going to be more dangerous for like people to pull up.
I mean, the actual amphitheater itself isn't grass. I'm sure if we go into where the seating is, or the floor, the stage, it can't sink there. But also, it leads to the extra hiding spots, blind spots we won't be able to see it at, or more of these infected people could be hiding. So it's a win-lose in either scenario.
Are there any events going on there in the next couple of nights?
As of right now, there's no concerts scheduled in the near future. It looks like the concert season is over for the year and we'll be starting up again.
Delphine will point to some concrete that looks like it's towards the left of the amphitheater on the map. Right there. If we take out the cameras, we can just fight it there. It's a little ways away from the highway. And it looks like there's like some building blocking it from the main road.
I mean, we could do that. We're all thinking we could just like one of two other things. We could, if we do fight it on grass, we could one of us just it have to touch the ground to go into it, right? I mean, I'm probably big and strong enough to hold it off the ground. Or, I mean, the other thing we could do is if it sinks into the ground, let's do this shit like Moby Dick. We can put a harpoon in it, and then when it sinks down, we just pull it back up.
You know, two problems with that. One, we don't know if the harpoon would go with it if it sunk to the ground. Two, if it does go into the ground with the harpoon, I don't think even you, with your strength, can pull the leech out of the physical packed earth. Depending on how deep it goes, that pressure would be too much, and I don't think that would actually work.
It was practically instant as well. So it's not even about having the strength. Not even I was quick enough to get it as soon as it started sinking. It was unbelievably fast.
Wouldn't the same problem happen if we jumped it on the concrete? It'll just walk off the concrete and go down. It probably
Not
not
if we
enough space.
stop it. Not if we stop it from going to the concrete. We flank it.
How can we properly stop the leech from getting into the grass? Even if we flank it, like what can we do to
You know what leeches don't
hold it?
like? Fire. We pour gasoline on the grass, set it ablaze, it won't go in.
I thought we were trying to make this like a secret mission. And it's going to seem pretty obvious, and especially
So
to
we
the
kill
security.
it quick, and we get the fuck out of there. It just makes it look like a bunch of teenagers were just... We leave some beer bottles, make it look like some teenagers started a bonfire, got out of control.
I mean, there's also that hunter like person running around, right? That person hunting them down. What if they're there?
Do you know where they are?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know where they are. So if we make a big scene, they might just pull up and then throw, holy water where the fuck on us, and then we just melt away and die.
What if we set a trap in the exhibition building? There's something that the leech won't be able to resist. Blood. We get some blood. Maybe we can lure it into the building with the smell of the blood. Once it's inside, close all the doors so it can't escape. And yeah, kill it quickly.
Where do you suggest we get the blood?
I mean, when we were on the boat, didn't you slice your hand, slice your wrist open to track that one leech?
I'm thinking that Stakes is intending for more than just a little slice of my hand.
Well, we could bribe one of the blood drive buses or see if anybody has connections at a clinic or hospital.
I mean, in that same vein, couldn't we just set a bait? I mean, we know this thing to hunt people with animals and shit, right? I mean, one of us walks around with a dog, one of us looking like a dog. We they go into the building, or they just in that general area, and they'll probably lure that thing over if it's hunting, especially if just so happens to have a little bit of blood in the air, a little cut. It'll probably come running after its easy target.
You know how
But will
leeches
it-
have a weird, different scent than people? So do we. If we
That's what
try
I
to
was
lure
just
them
about
out,
to ask.
they'll smell us if they have good smelling, and based off of the kind of leech they are, they probably do.
I mean, I do have a contact with a local nurse. I might be able to get us maybe 1-2 bags of blood, depending on how I describe the situation and how much she's willing to give. But we can definitely use that instead of hurting ourselves.
Well,
Use
we
that
have a
blood.
couple of days too if we can get a blood, like a way to draw blood. We can also just each donate a bag.
Well, like was just stated, it would be a different smell compared to regular
right.
blood. So I can try and get in contact. It's been a while since I've talked to her since we first got to the city. But I can give her a ring and see if I can work something out. But
Could be also that we use animal blood. We know that this thing is very protective of animals. You take a slaughtered pig's blood or something else, it'll probably
just-
come running to find out what killed an animal.
We can just get that at a local butcher too.
Yeah.
We could just do both, right? Some blood and some animal blood, and that'll probably make it come running exponentially.
It'll double the output too.
I like that idea.
Question is how we're gonna jump. If it can smell us, seems like if it starts coming running, it's gonna smell us in the building or smell us on the way. How we're gonna
Not if
avoid
we're in
that?
the Umbra.
How fast can we get out of the Umbra? 'Cause we'll have to jump out pretty quick.
Probably as quick as the old Sep did when you guys were caught ransacking their house.
Forge like stops, like go to say somebody stops, and fair. You got me there. All right, that sounds pretty quick then. So I guess some of us. Who can take us to the Umbra though? I know you can do it, Delphine, but anyone else? Because otherwise we'll have to all be standing around you.
We get someone there right before sunset. They could start laying out the trap, and then we can hop into the Umbra and just wait until it gets to the building.
Are there any abilities that we have that could possibly get rid of our scent, even temporarily? Do you know of anything, Stakes?
I do, but it only works on me.
I can silence us. That's about it. But once it gets into my vicinity, it would be silenced as well.
I think the idea of going into the Umbra and hiding in there isn't a bad idea, because we can see it coming, into the trap, and then when it gets to a certain area, we can just pop out.
Problem with going at sunset is it sunsets around pretty early now. So if we're trying to avoid running into people, that's going to make it a little more difficult.
Yeah, if we're going at night, we should probably go out around midnight. At that point, no one would really be there except for maybe a security guard or two that are tasked with patrolling the fairgrounds. But other than that, there shouldn't be anyone nearby.
I thought the point is someone needed to go in there ahead of time to set up the trap, unless we were wanting to try and just sneak in with the trap and everything there and just set it all up in that moment.
I mean, we can sneak in through the Umbra, pop out of the Umbra, set the trap, pop back into the Umbra, and then pop out again. Is it that hard to just pop in and out?
Well, the last time I took us to the Umbra, we ended up in the Shadowlands, so maybe going in multiple times is probably not the best idea.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You said it only works on you. Would you be willing to go in to help set up the trap?
Yes.
Okay.
It sounds like a pretty good plan. Plan kick ass. We send Stakes in there, set up the trap. We all go in the Umbra, run in there, wait for it to come running. Then when it does, we just jump out and beat the shit out of it.
And we fuck up the cameras too. Either by asking nicely or by other means.
Quick question,
Quick
just
answer.
so I remember. Whenever we go into the Umbra, normally we would have, all our clothes are removed. Everything that we have on us is just gone.
Right, but now that you have the rite of dedication, those things will stay with you.
Correct. But all the gear that we have gathered, all the things that we've done to like help with this fight, that would
not go.
Even the sword?
Even the sword. Well, no, the sword would go with you, yeah.
Okay. So, question done. I'll go.
By this point, with our pact with Ember, do we know, like, would we have knowledge that it gifted us with the ability, like that gremlin's ability?
Yeah, I'll say that you have figured out that you have this new ability to screw up technology. Maybe your phone stopped working one day or something like that. But yeah, you've learned that you have the gift.
I was wondering who was fucking up my PS5.
Yeah, we don't need to work too hard on the cameras we have. Ember, because of Ember, we can fuck with them now pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just ask nicely first.
I mean, if we're trying to do it fast and we're trying to get it done quickly so we can enact the trap, using gremlins isn't a bad idea because it'll get it done quick and we'll be able to enact the plan quicker.
Yeah, Juniper, you weren't there when we tried talking with the camera last time. Let me tell you, those motherfuckers, not very fun people to talk with, and they kind of talk you in circles for like 5 years. So, gonna take some time and probably won't work out very well to ask nicely.
Or maybe you just don't know how to talk to Spider.
It was like a weird crow thing with like one eye. It was like weird. It wasn't even a spider. I had to like smack this shit. And actually, pretty easy to destroy.
It's like a weird crow thing with one eye? What?
Yeah, man. I will talk about it later.
The gremlins would be the fastest way to do it. We don't have time. We don't want to waste time trying to convince a spirit of the Weaver to fuck up all the cameras. It's just something we can do quickly. Each of us can do it. We do it quick, do it fast, and we fucking just kill the thing already.
We're talking my
Okay.
language. I like it.
But we also have to start training over the next couple of days as a pack, all of us, so that we can figure out how to work with each other instead of just all of us attacking it individually.
You're not telling me more Charles sessions, right?
More Charles sessions.
Oh, man.
Stakes reaches into her pocket and pulls out what looked like it was at one point a dagger, but the pointy end of the dagger has clearly melted down pretty significantly. Juniper, do you think you could make this into a stake?
Yeah. I've been working on the other weapon, and I've been figuring out a lot of things. I think that I can turn that into a makeshift stake for sure.
We know that iron works on these creatures. This is clearly a more powerful version of the creature, as it still has self-awareness and control. My guess is we're going to need iron to incapacitate, if not destroy it.
I mean, we have the other sword.
Iron stake through the heart.
I'd rather use the sword as an absolute last resort. If we can use a small bit of iron, because it's going to melt, as it already has half melted, just by touching the infection. Utilizing as little iron as possible is the most efficient and a smarter way to do it.
Smart thing to do would be to have deadbeat, or forged, to have forged do the baking.
You see, Forge looks like actually kind of hurt by that slip up. Like, what the fuck? And then Forge just kind of recollecting himself. He'll say, "Look, I ain't gonna lie, dog. I may sound kind of funny, but I don't use like weapons and shit. I don't know how like I know it's just stab in, right? But I'm much better with like punching shit than like swinging a stake around."
If we can use Forged Strength to help hold him down, I'm pretty good with a weapon. And I also have a lot of strength.
Yeah, I hold him down. You stake him right through. Sounds like a easy enough plan there.
I do want to say, keeping the sword as a last resort isn't a bad idea, but at the same time, we were given this weapon for this specific reason. This was allocated to us to use on the leech. So, if you have a kill shot and you have the sword, use it. Don't try to like dance around using it because you want to save it for a rainy day, or you want to save it for like a little bit more of an extra sure to hit. If you feel like you have the shot, take it. Use the sword.
I agree with Raymond. If we have a stake for one of us and the sword for the other, that doubles our chances. So one person should carry the sword, the other should carry the stake.
How are you with melee weapons, Raymond?
I have a little bit of training, but most of my experience has been with firearms. That's what I'm better at than anything melee.
Might be what you have to stick with if we're trying not to make too much of a noise. Probably not gonna be able to pop some shots off. Be a pretty quick way to get everyone on our ass.
Could you use a crossbow?
Yeah,
Hammer the stake into a crossbow bolt. Raymond carries the crossbow. Juniper carries the sword.
Do we know how much iron, like what is the minimum amount of iron we need?
No.
I'll talk to Charles and see if I can just do a makeshift arrowhead. Combine it into a crossbow bolt, or a few.
One thing to be aware of, these things spread infection. That's what they're supposed to do. If you get bit, if you get exposed to the pollens, or even the ooze that these creatures make, you could get infected. So you have to watch out for its bites. You have to watch out for what the other creatures can do. I've heard some even erupt from their chest with spores. You have to prepare for any possibility that you might get exposed or infected, and iron is the only thing that will stop the infection.
We have to be careful if we bite as well, because any of that can get into our mouths.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of that would stop at least the spore shit wearing some sort of mask. But if you do that, you're probably only going to be able to go to like your glabro at most.
What forms were you in when you fought it?
Hispo.
Sounds like it's going to be a war form fight. Forged.
Also, Jester said that skin contact counts. So if it gets on your skin, you don't even have to breathe it in.
Oh, okay, so we're just kind of fucked in that regard. Well, I think I'll be fine. I'm pretty built. I'm built different. I think it won't really be a problem for me.
I don't think I should be close range. I'd be more of a liability fighting up front. I think I should be more focused on making sure that you guys are healed.
If Stakes is able to store our gear somewhere close by but out of sight, do you think that you would be able to run and get it for us while we corner the leech into this area?
Yeah, I could do that.
She might also be good at like make sure all the doors are closed. Because if we all jump it, who's going to be the one that's closing the doors and make sure that there's no easy getaway?
I could silence the fight.
I can handle the doors. They get in, I'll make sure they can't get out. But, Delphine, I think you don't give yourself enough credit. There will be other creatures there that need to be dispatched of. If you make a couple of those flaming liquor bottles, even though it's a waste of liquor, you could chuck them at some of the other creatures. We know fire will destroy them.
She'll nod at that. Like I was saying too, though, I can mute the fight. We won't draw attention that way. If you guys can work on being able to figure out how to communicate with no words.
I mean, I can definitely teach you all some quick hand signs that would be able to give off basic information. How many enemies, where they're at, go here, go there, that kind of thing.
I don't know. Hearing kind of important when it comes to a fight. I mean, they have all the.
You'll be able to hear. You just can't make noise. Like no one will be able to hear you guys physically exchanging blows. They won't be able to hear any howls.
But does that also mean that they won't make noise either? Because I think I see what Forged is saying.
You get it. If they start sneaking up on us, or if they start coming, if I can't hear some dude sneaking up behind me or coming up behind me, and hard for them to tell me or communicate that to me, it might be a problem if they got some tricks up their sleeves.
But to Delphine's point, we have more than one sense. Use your nose. Use your eyes. Believe it or not, even your tongue has value.
We could make it work. It'd just be a little difficult. But
that's what pack training is for.
Is it less difficult than potentially having to murder a security guard?
You have a point.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard to kill a security
I'm saying
guard.
we shouldn't have to kill a security guard if we don't, our war forms are allowed. If we don't make noise, they won't have any reason to investigate the area. They can just go about their shift like nothing happened, and then just be confused as to why there's a fucking mess inside.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. And it makes sense. And I've been told on more than one occasion by some chicks that my tongue is pretty good, so I think we'll do just fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna. Oh,
Well, don't hate me because I'm speaking fact.
Yeah, but were they?
Forrest just laughs at that while taking a sip of his beer, as he'll say, "Y'all will never know. Y'all will never know."
Okay. So we have a good bare bone structure of a plan. We send stakes in first. She brings gear, hides it, sets up the trap with the blood. While we go in through the Umbra, wait for the leech to show up. As soon as he's in a advantageous position for us, we can pop out. Immediately start trying to subdue him. Delphine, if you think that it is the best option, you can silence the fight. And from there, we can go as wild as we want, trying to take this thing out. Need to be aware of, not getting bit. Watch out for the spores. Be a little bit more cautious of where you are, exactly what you're doing with this leech. Because if we kill it, but we all come back infected, that's going to be a loss in my book.
I did forget to mention this. That was something I was thinking about that made me realize the whole silencing thing might be a problem. Is that I did have a little outing with Jester. She taught me a few things. It was pretty easy, to be honest. I learned the ability, the Song of Rage. I learned how to sing and make us pissed. So if we do silence, if I can't make any noise, and one of y'all were to lose the wolf, because then we mentioned about this thing being able to make you lose that. If he does that, I can't get that back for you until I can make noise. So that's something.
But I know if I have to cut it off, I can. I'm able to make it stop being silent.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. So in the middle of a fight, if someone loses their wolf and I'm sitting there freaking out trying to show you something, I mean, now you know that what I'm trying to do.
What about a meeting point if we get separated? Or we have to run away for some reason?
She'll glance at the map and then after looking it over a little bit, what about this copse of woods down here? And she'll point to the building just southeast of the amphitheater that has a bunch of trees with what looks like a makeshift lake nearby it.
That would work. Important thing to remember, you have to destroy every piece. Nothing can be left behind. If even a little bit is left behind, they will regrow.
Well, if I'm going to be tossing Molotov cocktails at any reinforcements, we could always, any pieces that we tear off, we can just toss into the fire as you guys are killing it.
You could bring some of those fire sticks that Charles uses too.
I picked some up, so we can definitely throw that in our bag. I don't have a lot, but I was able to pick up a few.
sounds like a pretty solid plan to me. Anything else we got to add on to it?
I mean,
What happens if one of us goes down?
Like down, or like dead? Because I feel like there's like a difference, right? We can take a pretty bad beating, but outright dying is like a whole nother level.
It would take a lot to kill you.
Damn straight.
If someone's incapacitated, I could take them. Pull them out.
that would work. I think if just one of us goes down, I think that's okay. Still majority of us up to try to take this thing out, but if 2, 3 of us start going down, then we need to try to leave as soon as possible. At that point, we could fight to the last man. But if we do that and we all get taken out, then not only do we fail the mission, but potentially we all get captured or killed.
Or turned into those things.
Exactly. So,
I mean, worst case scenario, may sound a little fucked up, but I mean, maybe Delphine or one of us hold on to like something to burn us with in case we're going down. It seems like we're not gonna be able to get dragged out. I mean, I think I would rather be dead than be one of those things. No, I think pretty reasonable there.
It's awful to think about, but he has a point.
as long as we all agree that that is what we choose to do, if that's the case, then I would agree.
My senses aren't as good as they used to be. She self-consciously reaches up and touches the missing eye. I'll be on watch to assist Delphine and to pull anyone out that gets hurt. As long as the rest of you are in the fight, that's probably the best way I can help.
I grab her free hands with mine and I give it a reassuring squeeze. I think that that's a good idea, Stakes.
And also hide really well, so they don't need to know that I'm there. She returns the squeeze to your hand, Juniper, as she lowers her other hand from her missing eye.
Having 3 of us in the front, 2 in the back for defense is probably a good split. If we all were to rush it, then potentially we won't have eyes on anything else trying to break in or get into the fight. We'd be too preoccupied. So, Stakes, that's not a bad idea, having you and Delphine in the back for support and dragging anyone else out that gets injured, healing us up as quickly as possible, whatever we can do, potentially get back into the fight. It's a solid plan.
Forge is really fighting hard not to giggle, but failing at the 3 in the front, 2 in the back comment, as he'll say, that sounds like a good idea. I fuck with it.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I don't get it.
Don't worry about it. We have a plan. We know what we're going to do. We know what we're going to bring. And we know the trap that we're going to set. It's a solid first step. When me and Juniper go to investigate the site a little bit more, we can solidify it and make it better. from what it sounds like, it's not a bad start.
Delphine, why don't you go to the butcher and see if you can round up any pig's blood? And Raymond will get what he can from his contact.
Yeah, just let the butcher know I'm making blood pudding.
Forged. Why don't you go to one of those car shops, see if you can pick up any more of those fire sticks that Charles uses. While Raymond may have a few, I have a feeling we're going to need more than that if there are at least many of them.
I could probably find somewhere with that. I mean, I know a few people.
Called flares.
What, the stores?
Sticks.
No, the fire sticks.
Oh.
I knew that.
Well, it sounds like we got a good plan. As for now, I need to go lay down.
Ask Shawn to fix you up if he can.
I'll be okay.
I mean, he might enjoy feeling like he's doing something. He's been cooped up here for a little while.
I'll see him. Stakes then gives a small nod to all of you before she turns and starts walking over towards one of the RVs.
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna stay here tonight too. It's been a fucking hell of a night.
Before we all disperse, does anyone have any last minute things?
And everything I had is pointless just because we already know where the fuck the thing is.
Same for me, honestly.
Oh, I got a question though. Delphine, what the fuck are those vibes? I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty rancid right now. You're like, you're even more like depressed than you have been like than I seen you at your worst. You know, even like back in Michigan and shit. Like, what's going on?
She's gritting her teeth at Forged focusing attention on her. And she bundles up into her cardigan, which she has layered over a just already chunky sweater. And just shakes her head. I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping well. I'm cold. It's just tired, okay?
Forge will hear that, think for a moment before he'll stand up from his chair. Is Delphine like sitting in more like a chair near the fire?
Yeah, she's actually been sitting pretty huddled up in by as close to the fire as she can, with how crappy she's feeling from the withdrawal. If the closer you get, you can see that while she's visibly shivering, she's sweating, and she don't look good, man. She looks tweaky.
He'll bring over probably one of the few only water bottles in this cooler and a partially cooked s'more, as he'll walk over and put the water nearby and offer you the s'mores. It's like, oh dog, I mean, you need something to eat? You need some sugar in you?
She kind of wrinkles her nose at the s'more, not feeling an appetite whatsoever. But she will take the bottle of water and just hold on to it for right now.
Are you feeling okay though? Because we're going to be doing the mission in about 2 or 3 days. And I know you say you're good, but I want to be sure that you're doing good before we go out and do this.
Well, that's going to be a you question then, Ray. Are you okay with getting something for me from Spud when you go see him? Or do you want me struggling?
I make eye contact with Raymond, and my eyes widen, but I don't say anything. I just purse my lips, grip my teeth even more, put a little stranglehold on this fucking wriggling arm.
I'll stare at Delphine, lock eyes, and just kind of read her face for a few seconds. I'll think about it.
As the pack finishes up the evening, before dispersing, going back to the separate places, they find rest. This is where we go to our break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. As we return from the break, we find ourselves about an hour north of Tampa as Raymond and Juniper arrive at the campsite known to be the location of Spud, the Duskborn. As you're pulling into the RV complex, you can tell that it's gotten a lot more crowded since any previous time you've been here, only because snowbird season is upon us, and as people from the Midwest descend upon Florida, any campground, any RV park, any place where they can take refuge fills up quite quickly. So as you pull in, you can see multiple RVs parked along the lanes, and maneuvering Raymond's truck up and down the lines, you eventually see at the very back corner of the park the RV belonging to Spud. The strange thing is the halo of spots around his RV where no one else has parked, even though it seems like anybody would want to squeeze into any available spot. Nobody seems to have taken those spots. So as you pull up and park the truck near the RV, the glowing chili pepper lights hanging around the eave of the RV entrance, you have a few moments between the two of you before interacting with Spud. The scene is yours.
As I park the car, and turn it off, staring at the absurdity of the chili pepper lights and Spud's RV in general, I'll let out a small sigh. Hopefully, he's going to be able to figure something out with this arm, because any advantage we have where we can get right now, we definitely need it.
I tighten my grip on the long cardboard box that I have stored, or wrapped rather, and then stored the arm into. This is literally our only chance to get any answers before we face them down. There is no other option than to be successful.
Well, let's hope he's as good as he says he is. Because honestly, at this moment, I really hope he is.
You're not gonna ask him for drugs, are you? For Delphine, I mean.
Kind of grip the steering wheel a little bit tighter. It's a bad idea. If I were to get her the drugs, yes, it would help when we actually go fight the leech, but at the same time, I would be helping her in a way that I wouldn't agree with, because I've always tried to talk to her about stopping, and if she's out of the drugs and she's started withdrawals, it's horrible timing, and it's horrible for her to be going through it. But if I facilitate her addiction, then I would be completely going against what I've been saying and what I've been trying to do the entire time with her and trying to get her to stop.
If we help facilitate her getting clean during all of this, and we are successful and everything goes off without a hitch, or at least as minor of hitches as there can be, this will have a profound impact on her journey to getting sober. if we can prove to her that she can do all of this without the drugs, I think it would have an immense impact on it all.
I completely agree. But that's hoping that she sees it that way. And she doesn't see that any of the hitches that may happen was because of the fact that she wasn't high, that she didn't have her fix. I mean, I could see her trying to rationalize it one way or the other, even if that's not the case. But I couldn't agree with you more. Having a success on a mission without her being anywhere near these drugs is a huge win.
All right. That's just something to keep in mind before we go in there. It might not even come up. But I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page before we went in.
Yeah. If he does have something that could help with the withdrawals, that has no connection with the drug, that is not addictive. If saying this out loud's a little weird, but if he gives us his word that it will help without any side effects, I mean, I don't know if I want to believe him, but at the same time, I do want to help her in some way.
I just grimace as Ray says, we believe his word. But I nod my head. Yeah. It's worth a try.
I mean, that's all we can do.
It's all we can do. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's fucking go.
Climbing out of the truck, you cross the small patch of grass, past the fire pit and picnic table, to the door of the RV. Right now, the RV door is closed. There's minimal lights on within the RV. As you go and knock on the door, a moment later you hear, "Use the doorbell! I got a doorbell, use it!"
I'll sigh again and look towards the doorbell.
You notice that there's a little doorbell that looks like it's been hung or taped to the side. As you press it, you hear ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong from inside the RV. A moment later, the door flies open and Spud is dressed in what looks to be Nightmare Before Christmas pajamas and a big stocking cap. You rang?
Trick or treat.
Ooh, trick.
Fungus monster arm, and I throw the cardboard box at him.
He catches the box and fumbles with it for a second before it drops to the ground and then spills over the arm, flopping out. "Oh, would you look at that? Come on in," he says as he reaches down and grabs the box and the arm and starts carrying it further inside.
I look at Raymond with wide eyes and turn my head and just mouth the word mask before heading inside.
I'll just shake my head a little bit about, again, the absurdity of Spud and walk into the RV.
As you enter in, you can see one of those fold-down tables and benches, and then along one wall, an entire insanely put-together chemistry set. It looks like it's been pieced together over a long time with Bunsen burners and beakers and all kinds of other implements, even a little tiny like chemistry stove or oven that sits on one end of the counter. Right away, Spud's gone to work at his chemistry set, just working, taking the arm, strapping it down to the table with these little leather straps. And then he starts reaching up and grabbing various vials and starts mixing something together.
Just so you know, that fresh specimen is from the leech itself. So I don't know if that helps you in gathering or figuring anything out to a better degree.
That helps me a great deal, actually. I've had some fun with some of the others before, but a leech infected? This is going to be very fun.
It's kept its awareness and has full control of itself too. So this one's a real doozy.
Yeah, it's not all hooked up to the mainframe, the hive mind, huh?
Doesn't seem to be. Still can think on its own.
Interesting. He grabs a little needle and pokes at the palm of the hand, causing it to flex. He then resumes mixing various elements together. So how are things going?
Things are going. We figured some things out about the leech, and we have a plan on how to deal with it. So
actually, I have some information for you also. I've been looking at that little dirt sample you brought me, and I've been able to find out some very, very interesting news.
Please, do share.
So you know how the dirt is dry and crumbles and cracks and breaks apart pretty easily?
Yeah, like it's dead.
Well, that's exactly what it is. They've been sucking all of the moisture and whatever minerals and nutrients they can out of the dirt to create the material for them to grow and spawn, for them to regenerate. They're using literal organic material from the earth to help grow back their various pieces, unless they can get another corpse to pull body parts from and attach to themselves. They're sucking the earth dry to help rebuild themselves.
That seems very vampiric in nature.
In a way, yeah, but they're also organic creatures. I mean, it's like if you had a plant and you didn't water it for long enough, it's going to take nutrients from wherever it can until it dies. But these things have the benefit of not rooting themselves in the earth. They can get up and move to another patch if they've used up all of the organic parts of a singular location.
Interesting. I'm going to assume that this is also something the leech can do, not just these fungus people.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing he misses his arm right now, but won't miss it for long if they grow the same way the others do.
I was hoping we would fight it with it being a little injured, but if that's not the case, then at least now we won't be surprised if it does show up with its arm fully grown back.
I mean, it might. It also might not. Might be a sense of pride. If it's as self-aware as you say, maybe it doesn't have the all of the gifts being one of the infected grants.
Speaking of which, I know potentially who this leech was. I don't know if the name might be familiar with you.
I mean, I'm all for it, but I was kept out of most of the important news and goings-on of the city.
Do you know of anyone by the name of Benjamin Forbes?
Benjamin Forbes. Hang on a second. He steps away from the twitching arm that is now strapped to the counter and moves over to a filing cabinet. And he pulls open one of the drawers and starts fingering through the files until he stops and pulls out one of the manila folders that looks like it was probably taken out of a recycling bin. You can actually see that what was written on the folder has been covered up in stickers. Okay. I have been keeping a roster of sorts of any kindred that I come across, and Benjamin happens to be one of them. But, and he holds up the folder, you know how this works. What's it worth to you?
I mean, we did just gift you a really cool arm of a leech that you've been wanting to play with.
And all of the information I get from that arm goes to who?
Okay, well, you have a point there.
I know you're not tied to the kindred society as strongly as other kindred, but at the same time, this thing is a problem, not just for us, but for you. So.
Oh, Ray, you have to understand, trying to bring up the greater good or the threat to the world this is will only get you so far. I've heard that speech so many times. And if you've learned anything about me, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give you. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna keep surviving. So, I'll figure out a way through it. I'm like a cockroach in that way.
Well, I guess the more important question is, what is it worth to you?
I already have
Then
it.
Right, to give up the information to us.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I'm usually on an offer-only basis. I like to see just how interested you are. But if I were to want something, you have to understand there are certain issues that some of us diet leeches have. And I've run out of stock. So I need blood. I don't like to do it the way the others do, with the whole hunting and suckering people in and hurting them. And even then, I don't have the hardware for it. And he taps at his teeth, and you realize that his canines are tiny little pokey points. I have to do it the more blood donation, blood drive way. Makes it a little more complicated.
Well, luckily for you, I do know someone that potentially can get me a couple bags.
That is lucky.
Currently, I'm already asking for a little bit for our own purposes, but I can set up a transaction every once in a while where I can give you a couple black bags here or there for a set amount of time.
That's all well and good, Ray, but you have to understand I'm getting into some dire straits here, and I can't wait that long. So if there are other means for you to come by blood, I would suggest you consider those. But also, I'll give you everything you want to know for a regular supply of blood and a sample of yours.
How about a little bit of an extra compromise? I'll give you a sample of my blood if you stop selling drugs to Delphine.
Honey, Charity doesn't keep the lights on and keep the gas tank filled.
How about I pay you instead? You don't lose out on the drugs and you get free money.
Roll me a charisma and persuasion.
Can I assist?
Sure.
What rage am I at?
Probably a 2 going into Leech's RV.
I got 4 successes. It's a crit.
You want me to stop doing business with my bestie? I want triple what she pays.
What has she been paying?
Trust Fund Baby has been doing very well. I'd say she usually comes in around $400 a week. So you give me about $1,200 a week, and you got a deal.
You could do 1,200 a week for a month, and I can get you blood, steady supply of it for as long as you need, but no sample of mine.
And then after that, I'll keep paying the regular price of $400 a week.
So not only do I not get the sample, I make the same amount of money in the long run that I would have been making anyway.
I'll still give you a sample.
Oh, really? $800 a week after. $1,200 a week for the first month, $800 a week after, and the sample.
700.
$750.
25.
$725 or just 25 because that's the opposite direction.
725, yes.
Okay, I'm not going to agree to this. I know how you people do. Do I have your word, Ray Ray?
You have my word that we will pay you the money and give you the blood.
Goody. All right.
But I do have a question.
Sure.
what exactly are you going to be using that sample for?
And also, do we have your word in return?
Oh, you have my word that I will not give Delphine any drugs.
Or your assistance?
Or my assistants.
That includes your raccoon.
Oh, he's my only assistant. I or my raccoon will not give Delphine any drugs.
I can sense it.
Yeah, I want to roll on that.
Go ahead, give me a wits and insight.
I'm assuming I'm also on 2 rage.
You are also on 2 rage, definitely.
Five successes.
Seven with a crit.
What he said is true. However, you can tell that there is a sneaky machination going on. His brain's already ticking about ways to work around it.
Listen, Spud. The reason we're asking you to stop selling to Delphine is because we want to see her get better. I know she's a customer to you. I know you make money off of her. And obviously appealing to your better nature might not work. But we want to help her get better. And we want
Why?
to see her get better.
Why do you care?
At this point, she's like family to us. At least to me. And seeing her destroy herself like this, and seeing her fall down this path of self-destruction is really starting to hurt. I know you may not see it that way, but to me, that's what I'm seeing.
Have you ever heard the phrase, you can't help those who don't want to help themselves?
Yes.
There's a level of truth to that. But we also know how incredibly hard it is to get off of something that is so addictive. At some point, those who are closest to you have to step in and help.
Do you know what she's going to be like going through this? Do you know what it's going to do to her?
No. What will she be going through? Obviously, you know.
I mean, I can tell you what happens to a human, but she's not human, is she? I would imagine, based off of y'all's nature, it's going to be very, very violent. And, well, that's just what it does to her mind. Her body, honestly, I don't know what it'll do to her body. I am kind of curious to find out, I'm not gonna lie, but I wouldn't count her as helpful or useful for at least 28 days, maybe more.
I would rather go through it in a way that we can prepare for than for something completely random to happen to you or to anybody else that leaves her stuck going through withdrawals anyway. If we can have a controlled environment that can keep her safe and contained while she goes through this, that would be way better than some random point down the line where shit goes sideways and we're all fucked.
But do you have that kind of time? Do you have that kind of environment? From the sounds of it, things are getting kind of desperate. You're looking for whatever information you can get, even from a leech, to try and resolve your issues. So can you afford to put Delphine on the bench for 28 days? At least.
I honestly don't know. But obviously you know what it's going to do to her. And you know what you've been giving her. She thinks of you as a friend.
She is a friend.
Is there any thing that you can do that is not giving her the drug that could help with this withdrawal? That would help her get through it to the point where she would be clean and not be dependent on this drug.
Well, that alters the deal some, doesn't it?
It's a good question. But yes, it would alter the deal.
I mean, at this point, you wouldn't even do it for a friend.
Here's the thing. I get your concern about her. But the difference is she's not human. She could live a full, happy werewolf life. And all this does is take some of the stress away. But yes, there is something I could do to help her. But it is definitely going to cost.
What is it? Or is that a family-only recipe of yours?
Oh, what? What I'm giving her?
No, what you would be doing.
Oh, no. No. I don't have that kind of ability. But I know someone who does. Addiction isn't easily broken. It's a personality trait. If she's not addicted to this, she's just gonna find something else. So would you rather it's something random, something she stumbles across on the street? Or would you rather know where it comes from?
I would rather know. But at this point, we already have a deal in place. you give us a bit to think about this other deal, because we are on a timetable for other things.
I'm going to tell you the cost, just to help leverage your thought process. You see, in my side of the fence, we have these little negotiation tactics, this little cost chart. You want me to save a life? Then I'll be owed a life.
What do you mean by owed a life?
It's called a life boon. It means I'm owed a life. If you have to sacrifice one of yours for mine, so be it. Right now, Delphine would do that in a heartbeat for me. You want me to take that away. So I need something else in exchange.
I feel like I need to make a composure and resolve check here
Please do.
just now. Three successes.
Your rage goes up by 1, but you are able to maintain your composure.
Okay. I understand what the price is.
Just something to consider.
Yeah. Give us a bit to think about it. We'll get back to you with an answer.
All right. Well, since we have an agreement about the information, here's what I'll tell you. Good old Benjamin liked to play the part of security. That was a great cover that allowed him access to all kinds of people. He would usually do it at the state fair and at concerts. He liked to spend most of his time sniffing around the cattle auctions, as well as the dog shows. He has a soft spot for animals, I can relate. Went missing a few months ago. But seems like you've come across him. He returns to his table and continues mixing before he holds up a beaker that is frothing. He then begins to pour the beaker over the arm. And almost immediately, the arm starts to fester. And then the flesh becomes rigid and paralyzed. The arm no longer twitching, the fingers no longer curling. Oh. So they do still have allergies. Isn't that interesting?
Other than that, about Benjamin. Obviously, we know what kind of leech he is. But do you know how old he was and how strong he was? we have a rough idea from last time we talked. But if you have more concrete information.
It's hard with the feral type. They're not so good with numbers, but I would have to say he was definitely one of the older ones. So you're probably looking in the range of 400 to 500 years old.
You just made mention about still having allergies. What did you just put on that one?
Oh, this arm right here. Well, I put a mixture of silver nitrate, water from a fresh stream, garlic, and let's just say something blessed from up above, divinely inspired. A mixture of all of the things vampires hate, or we're supposed to hate. At least what we tricked the humans into thinking they hated. But for some, it still works, and our dear Benny boy appears to be one of them.
How much of that can you make?
I would need a little bit of time to narrow down which of the ingredients was necessary, which worked, since I mixed them all together. But I can make a solid amount. What are you looking for? A mister or a grenade or...
Preferably glass bottles. We can throw it at him, and when the glass breaks, it'll spread all over him.
Oh, okay. You want to huck it like a Molotov.
Preferably without the burning bit, but yes.
Well, luckily, this won't have to burn. No. I could give you one to take with you today, but if you need more than that, I need to do some shopping.
That's fair. If we have a little bit now, that helps us immensely.
Okay. Well, I can put that together for you. Cost in materials and labor, about $250.
I will pull out $250 cash from my wallet and give it to him.
Wonderful. He folds it up and sticks it into the front breast pocket of his pajamas. He then turns back to the counter and starts reaching up and grabbing the materials, mixing. He then hands you what looks like one of those cylindrical water bottles with the screw top, like a Voss water. And he passes it over to you. Be careful not to get that on yourself.
Duly noted. And I'll reach out and grab it.
Now, I will tell you, this didn't kill it. It paralyzed it. And I don't know how temporary the effects will be. This is just a limb that you've brought me. It's not the whole body. And I don't know what kind of surface coverage you're going to get, but you could possibly paralyze a limb, or maybe if you get an accurate enough hit, paralyze their mind briefly. but it could wear off. This is only a temporary solution. It's like an allergy, not like a instant death thing.
Understood. But appreciate the help. I think
My pleasure.
That's all we really need.
If you want a good way to fight these things, not the leech, I'm not sure what their deal is entirely. I'm guessing this won't affect them as badly, but the others, they need rich soil to take nutrients from. You know what doesn't have that? Sand.
Thanks for the advice.
Something to consider.
Well, I don't know if I would say that it's been a pleasure, but thanks, Spud.
That's what I'm used to hearing. You do know this isn't like a vampires versus werewolves thing. I don't hold any ill will towards any of you. It's just, I know how vulnerable I am. I gotta protect myself.
Yeah. We're, and I'll look over at Raymond. We're learning that it's more of a gray area than black and white.
I didn't want to be this. This is my cross to bear. But I make do.
Well, it looks like we have that in common, Spud.
Sure do. Well, anything else?
I'll look over at Juniper.
No. Can I get a number to contact you in a few days once we've decided what we're going to do deal-wise?
Absolutely. He grabs a note card and writes down a phone number before passing it over.
I take it from him and nod my head. Thanks, Spud.
My pleasure. As the two of you exit the RV, carrying the container, you head to the car, start up the engine, and begin to drive away. If you have anything to say to each other on the way home, now is the time.
Ray, I know we just talked about those deals and everything, but I can't help but think there's another option here outside of asking Spud to stop supplying and outside of whatever that option was he gave us at the end, where he knows someone that can switch the addictions or whatever. My family, where I come from, we have a lot of solutions to a lot of problems using plants as medicine. all sorts of plants. You can go out into the woods, find pretty much all you would ever need to cure any ailment. I think that if I talk to Eliza and see what all is available, I could make something that could be a long-term solution and even treat the addictive personality that Delphine has. But it would take time. Tinctures are a slow process.
As we're driving, staring at the road, going down, the headlights passing, just staring straight ahead. Be silent for about a minute, just thinking. If you feel like you can help, I wouldn't be against that plan. But from what we were just told, we don't have a lot of time. And I'm not saying that I want to accept that deal that Spud mentioned at the end. We're already in a little deep. I don't think that we should have given any sort of sample of our own blood to him. I don't know what he can do or what he will do with that. That's why I was trying to change the deal a little bit, but you made a decision, and it's your decision.
Here's the thing, Ray. He already has our kind's blood. I am 100% sure of it. From Delphine.
You're probably not wrong. But the more samples he gets from us, the more things he potentially can do. And I don't like the idea of that. But we accepted the deal. That's going to happen eventually. You know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But
Or burn it down completely.
Spud's useful. Spud's helping. And I don't know if burning that bridge is the right decision.
I'm not saying it's the decision to make. But there's always options A through Z. That just happens to be one of them.
Guess we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
I smile and look over at Ray. Now you're getting it.
And with that, we transition to our next scene. Our next scene takes us to a dockside bar, a place called the Split Helm, a bar belonging to Jace, also known as Dreams in Decay, a theurge of the Sept. This has become a meeting and gathering place for the Ratkin ever since they were extended the invitation of hospitality, something that they have been taking a great deal of care to maintain. and taking a little bit of advantage of it when the opportunity presents itself. So when Forged looks to meet with the Ratkin, he's told exactly where to go. And so he arrives at the bar, which has become a little bit more crowded with bikers and truck drivers and types that you wouldn't expect, not just those from the docks, not just sailors or transporters. You see a couple of individuals wearing vests that have the Howlers patch on the back. And you see some truck drivers wearing uniforms for different trucking companies. But that's not who you're looking for. Instead, you're brought to a small back room that appears to be under construction at the bar. And here, sitting around a folding table with several folding chairs, are the Ratkin. Being youths ranging from 16 to maybe even 21 years old, they're a motley gang of about 6 at this present time. One of them being Skeeter, a very gangly, kind of younger man, maybe 17, 18 years old looking, wearing a stocking cap, a tank top, and really, really loose-fitting pants. If anybody knows the term Jinko pants, this qualifies, that drape down almost completely over his feet. The others are a ranging bunch of all shapes and sizes. There's even one pot-bellied young man, a little bit more heavy set, who sits over in the corner just snacking away on some of the food that the bar has provided, crumbs falling down onto his shirt. But as you come in, Skeeter, who you recognize being the individual who stole your wallet, looks up and gives a half 2-finger salute. Sup, cuz?
Forge walking in with this classic muscle tee to really show off his bod, wearing some jeans some dirty jeans as he'll look around. He'll just say, "Damn, bitch, y'all live like this? That's crazy." And he'll walk on in, making himself like immediately comfortable. Like if there's another chair, he'll grab it, pull it up, and sit down, putting his feet up on the table. He'll look at the rest of them.
You want a slice of pizza? It's free.
Oh shit, free pizza? Shit, I'll think about just ordering some. Hold on. And he'll look for the pizza, get the pizza.
You can see that there's several pizza boxes, most of them empty, but maybe a pizza and a half left as you help yourself to a slice. So what brings you... Oh, what are the toppings? The toppings are sausage and mushroom on one pizza, and the other is just a classic pepperoni and cheese.
Forge takes a sausage and mushroom, takes off the mushrooms, and then takes the a slice of pepperoni.
So what brings you down to our lovely side of the city?
Figured after our last little run-in, I stopped by and see how y'all are doing, considering, y'all are kids of, Rat, however the fuck that works. I don't know if he actually can have kids, but he was telling me some wild fucking things, so.
I mean, I suppose we're just as much his kids as you are his kid. So I guess we're a little bit closer related in that way.
So you're like more like how I am, with the whole like changing and shit.
Yeah, it's like that. We weren't always this way.
Oh, were you also like normal dudes before this, or like normal rats before this, or what was like the whole shit with that?
Mostly dudes, except for him. He jerks the thumb over towards the pot-bellied young kid. That one was born a rat. He's still trying to get used to human things.
Shit, I mean, I've heard about them talking about other, I guess, types like us, but I didn't think to be one of rat. I mean, I guess he must be pretty happy about that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, most of the spirits I'm guessing you encounter probably have a changing breed of their own.
All of them? I mean, I've heard of werebears and weregators and werebats. Shit, I wonder. They got like, oh my god, think about what weregorilla would look like. That shit would be cool as hell.
Yeah, those are less fun. They were created artificially.
Oh,
Yeah. But
you could just make them.
I met a were-raven once. They call themselves Korax.
Of course they would. Was he like a pretentious asshole? He sounds like one.
More just that kind of like creepy goth sleep token style.
Oh my god, I know exactly someone like that, except not really goth and more like grungy woman of the woods. God, I swear sometimes like when she's still at the house, I can hear Sleep Token playing in another room. At some point, I like them all, but you kind of get sick of it after a while. Especially another person in my crib, at our place where we all hang out at. She also plays Sleep Token while training, which feels like the weirdest music to play while training because like they're more slow. But what do I know? I guess.
To each their own.
So like, what do y'all do? Y'all just chill? Like, I know we have like our whole save the earth kind of thing. Are y'all also the whole save the earth kind of bullshit, or what's up with that?
We're not as preachy about it as the wolves usually are. But we do our own thing. I guess ours is primarily survival most of the time. But we like to do the same kind of things that you like to do. Gather intel, pass it along to people who can make use of it, and try to scrape out a part for ourselves. But yeah, no, we don't get all Gaia is everything preachy. At least this group doesn't.
I can drink to that, man. I understand that kind of gets a little frustrating and old after a while when Gaia this, Gaia that. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't want everything to fall apart. We don't want to go back to the, jungle world. We need civilization. It's a great cover, a great hiding place, a great supply of entertainment and food. We're not all into the wild as much.
Yeah, I'd rather be a city rat than a country rat. I get that.
Country rats get picked off by barn owls.
Fuck, man. Now it made me thinking about were owls. That shit sounds terrifying. I think probably be able to turn their heads around and shit. That'd be freaky.
Yeah, I can't say I've met one of those.
But how long have y'all been here? I mean, I don't think I've really seen y'all running around before, though. I don't know if that's because y'all were rats running around or if you're just sneaky like that. But I've been hanging around Ybor for a hot minute. First time I saw y'all.
We've been in town a few months. First of us arrived here probably almost a year ago.
Came here for a reason or just big city place to be?
You know that feeling you get, like where your hair stands up on the back of your neck and you get like goose flesh all over your arms? Well, we got something like that. Something that just told us we were supposed to be here. And Rat, well, boss man agreed. But it was like a calling of sorts. Something was drawing us here.
Fair enough, I suppose. That like a year ago that happened. That's been how the adjustment been here. I know, kind of a shitty place for us considering the whole like, scary blah blah fuckers around and all this fungus bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, all big cities are the same. They all have the same kinds of problems. These are a little extreme on this side of things, but if you know how to blend in, if you know how to go unseen, the fangers don't bother you.
I imagine they're the type that if you stay out of their business and bullshit, they'll kind of leave you alone, at least with the vibe I get.
Yeah, kinda. But their business is very juicy.
I can imagine. Just imagine what kind of parties they get up to when you got like nothing but time and money. I mean, it sounds like all of them are pretty rich or got something going on. I mean, imagine being like 500 years old and broke. At that point, just like off yourself,
Yeah, I couldn't deal with the whole immortality thing. Life's just too much enjoyable because it's short. If it's just never ending, I'd imagine it gets boring. Also, the diet. Blech.
Yeah, a whole blood diet sounds kind of shitty. But I never really gave much thought about the whole immortality thing. I mean, I think that goes for all of us, but especially us. We're kind of shipped off to being told that you ain't going to make it past like 25. So the idea of going past that has been kind of out of the brain.
You don't make it past 25 if you're dumb. Throwing yourself at every scary thing that comes around. You got to be smart. Got to think with that other part, your brain. Not just your muscles. It's kind of one thing that sets us apart from you guys is you're used to being in charge. You're used to being on top of the heap. It's almost like it's in your bones to be cocky, to be self-absorbed, to think of yourself as the ultimate predator. But we're not. None of us are. There are two things that we can't escape. One of those is time. Catches up with all of us. And the second is people. Humans, specifically. Those that fear what they don't understand. And they're going to do one of three things to something they don't understand. Eat it, kill it, or fuck it.
Shit, cuz how old are you? You're spitting facts that what, like 18? 19?
19.
Shit, what the fuck you been going through, man?
Well, I turned when I was 14. So I've had a little bit of time in the old changing breed incubator. Pick up a few things along the way.
That make you like 40 years old in rat years?
I don't even want to do the math on that one.
He just Forge will like lean forward, take a bite, like a large bite of his pizza. He folds it up like a taco when he does it. Take the larger bites, as he'll nod to that as he'll look around to all the others and.
Oh, let me introduce you. Yeah, that's Dodger, Ollie, Malin, and Scabs. He points to the more rotund young man as Scabs.
I mean, I've heard worse names, won't lie. That's nice little band you got going here. What y'all do for fun around here besides just checking dumpsters?
Well, same thing you do. Except, we try to keep our head down out of it. Don't want to draw a lot of attention. We're not the heroes of Ebor, after all.
Forge will look surprised for a moment, but just laugh to himself, like laughing so hard that he like has to take his feet off the table. He sits forward as he'll. Shit, I should have probably known. Y'all pick up on that. Look, it's.
Yeah, when you gonna start wearing tights? Malin loves guys in tights.
I mean, you're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that, dog. But nah, man, Look, it's just. When you fuck around with people that, aren't causing a scene or people actually like, everyone calls you the villain for, everyone gives you shit about it. But when it's someone that no one likes, someone that is causing an actual problem, if you give them shit, people will actually thank you for it. People will call you a nice guy and give you shit. So it's like gaming the system, instead of picking on everyone and getting shit for it, you just look out for the people that need to be picked on, and everyone thinks you're a great guy.
That's an interesting philosophy. A change of heart for you, if I heard your original name correctly.
I'm pretty sure you all did, considering how you yelled at me. You're lucky that rat stepped in, by the way.
I guess.
But I mean, used to be a little different. I was a little more nonchalant, kind of, maybe a little more badass. It was just, I had a different mindset back then, but shit changes, life changes you. When you got a bunch of bullshit suddenly dropped onto your plate, it kind of changes your mind a little bit. It changes what you think about.
Bullshit like a baby mama.
Forge like leans back in his chair, lets out a deep sigh. I figured that a rat or one of you fucks would be finding that shit out. But what was it, rat, or y'all just happened to see what was going on?
Honestly, it was just a lucky guess. There's only a few things that change somebody so dramatically. Either finding God, which is definitely not your deal. Falling in love. Or family.
You're right there. It's true. You gotta, had a kid. Tried to, bail on it. Or, life has a way of catching back up to you, so. She came knocking at my door, and, well, I had to stay here, so figured I'd try and make shit work. Didn't really go according to plan, but I mean, whatever does.
Why'd you have to stay here?
Man, this good at what you do, huh? The whole information gathering. It's I'll humor y'all just for a moment here. I got sent from Hell, Michigan down here. They were whole like, we're gonna send you down here as a was like a weird idea of like summer camp, like we're gonna send you to this hell zone. If you get better, then you may come back, and if not, then die down there. It's like some weird shit like that, and so kind of had to stay down here, and also just weird than may sound, pack grew on me like mold, so rather not just leave them hung and dry. After all, I'm like the second strongest dude here. They'd be kind of fucked without me.
Yeah. But that's not who you used to be.
The second strongest dude, or the guy that wouldn't leave his homies out to dry?
Pick one.
So both. All right. Yeah, I mean, shit, time changes a man. What can I say? I mean, especially when you're while working in dog years, every moment kind of is more fucking important. So you gotta shit hits differently when every day your life's on the line and you got a kid and a baby mama and a bunch of people who, one of them maybe only comparable to you in strength and gotta rely on you. Otherwise, they might self-destruct and hate each other.
You can keep giving time all the credit you want. You chose to change.
We're really doing this right now. We're really having this moment.
Oh, I don't give a fuck one way or the other, but it's just fun to watch you squirm.
You're Rat's kids. You're all little shits. Forge will let out a little laugh as he takes everybody this pizza. God. If I were saying this kind of shit to one of my pack mates not too long ago, it fucking sucks tasting your own medicine.
Well, there's a belief that what goes around comes around. If you give it, you're gonna get it.
Well, when it explains some of the beatings I got lately, I guess karma came back to fuck me over with that.
So what's your stake in all this? What's your interest? Why fight the good fight?
Besides just not wanting the world to end because I live in it, like I said, I got a kid now, man. I mean, before, I didn't really give that much of a fuck because, I mean, it's more just about me, right? Like, I could, I wanted to survive in this world, and if they destroyed everything, that would kind of suck for me. But I got a little homie now coming up in this world. I mean, if I kind of should make it better for him, right? I mean, it'd be the right thing to do. I mean, it would be kind of an asshole move to just raise him in this world and be like, "Good luck, buddy. Everything's fucked," and just leave,
Isn't that sweet? But I get it. You're looking towards the future. That's interesting. Why'd you seek us out? Other than just a good hang.
That was one of the reasons. Y'all aren't squares like all the other fucks I've been around, so it's actually been nice to chillax again. Certain, homies I normally hang out with also went into the hospital and they're not doing so good. So, yeah, it's partly just think kind of that, like. I mean, it's gonna sound like kind of pussy shit, but Rat gave me a chance when no one else would, right? He saw me sitting there, saying I was garbage, but he likes garbage, so he fucked with me. All the other patron spirits did jack shit, so maybe it's a way of me paying him back a little bit, hang out with his little homies, see how they're doing, make sure y'all, aren't getting screwed over or killed or beat up by anything. y'all give me some free pizza and we hang it. A little exchange there, and maybe information. I mean that too.
So you're offering to be our bodyguard?
I mean, I wouldn't say like. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty willing to beat up people if you need me to, but more just like maybe part of the crew. You know what I mean? Hang out with y'all, see what y'all doing, and maybe help y'all get some information. Because everyone could always use a big guy with muscles.
That is very true. Well, big guy with muscles. Maybe I can help you out a little bit. You said you had a friend in the hospital?
That's true. Name's named Damien. He was the homie of mine. One of the few that I actually have down here.
You want to know what happened to him?
There's like Forge this whole time was smiling, sitting back, like very just at ease and calm around them. Partially because he's like 90% sure he could take them all out if he needed to. But right now, as soon as he hears that, there's just like a drop in all of that. His face just goes serious as he like sits forward. And he'll say, "You know what happened?"
Not yet, but I can find out.
There's like a maybe tense moment of staring from Forge as after a moment of silence he'll say, "Good. As soon as you find out, let me know. And I'll beat up whoever the fuck you need me to beat up. Got it?"
Deal.
As he'll Forge will actually take his hand and he'll spit in it as he'll offer his hand.
Skeeter does one of those nostril clearing hawks before he spits into his own hand and holds it out and shakes yours.
Forge will shake it. There's definitely a little bit like, fuck, like, yeah, that's so disgusting. As to get back at him, he's gonna activate his odious aroma just to stink bomb the fucking room. He's just as he'll stand up and say, "I gotta start training. I got someone on my ass about training, and if I miss that shit, they're gonna really knock my jaw out. So I gotta get going. But y'all got a number y'all use, or y'all just hang here?"
We're usually around here. You call, leave a message with the bartender. I'm sure you can get a hold of us.
The smile and nod to that as he'll as walking out and says, "All right, fuck off, all you. Nice meeting you." As he'll go up the door and give him a wave bye.
Go fuck yourself, bing bong.
Bing bong.
As you head out, you all of a sudden hear them go, "Scabs, what the fuck, man?" It wasn't me. What's going through your mind after this conversation with the Ratkin?
Forge was just expecting a nice chilled time with some like-minded individual, and he did get that. But there was something more that he didn't expect, some actual like genuineness in this conversation, which he didn't really think that was possible with people like that. He always thought that mushy emotional shit was for like pack mates or like the serious people, but having like laid chill back friends who actually you can talk that shit with and not devolve into immediate emotional depression, it's nice. The main thing that's on his mind right now is the comment about Damien, about what they can find out what happened to him, because that just almost thinking about that fuels that inner fire, that inner anger. Like there's a wolf in the back of his head gnawing at trying to immediately trying to get him to find out immediately, trying to get him to get his get back, so that he can go back to Damien with his head held high, knowing that he did what he was supposed to do for him. They've always protected. It's kind of their deal with it. He always protected Damien. So it kind of feels like a failure on his end.
And with that, we transition to our final scene of the evening. In our final scene of the evening, we find Delphine with her former mentor, Shawn Cross, the Black Fury Theurge. Ever since his return from Michigan, Shawn has been a lot more soft-spoken even than usual. Having only one arm after having lived a life with two is a difficult adjustment. Not to mention watching everyone you care about die. It's a surefire path to Hirano or Hoglosk. But maybe, with the right help, there's a way out. Bonding over a shared trauma. Maybe Shawn still has some use in this fight, even if he is literally shorthanded. Delphine, you find Shawn sitting outside of the RV he's been staying in a camping chair. He is manipulating a sandwich in his lap that he's raising up to eat. The scene is yours.
Delphine probably would have been, it probably would have been a gradual thing throughout the day of her like inching towards the RV and then deciding not to, and then like an endless vicious cycle of her trying to go over, changing her mind, and then trying to go over again. But this time she'll finally just make herself finally go over to Shawn, and seeing him like with the sandwich, she is glad that she casually thought to bring some beer that Forged left in the cooler from the night before. And she'll walk over. She'll make sure she takes the top off first, but she'll head on over and offer it to him.
He looks up and gives an appreciative smile as he sets the sandwich back on his lap and takes the beer. You know I'm not going to bite, right?
Yeah, no, I know you're not gonna bite. I just, been having a little bit of a rough, week.
I can tell. You want to talk about it?
Is there like lawn chairs?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll take a seat in one of the lawn chairs, and she'll fall into the nervous habit of fiddling with her sleeves when she's anxious. And she'll basically pull them, so pull on them until just the tips of her fingernails are sticking out. Mainly not wanting to see her arms, especially too, just because ever since that night, she's reluctant to even look at any of her exposed skin, especially her arms. And she'll take a deep breath, and she'll just point blank. Do you think I'm a bad theurge?
He contemplates the question. Do you?
I don't think I'm doing it right. I think I can't talk to spirits without them like without being lost and confused as to what they're trying to say, I feel like I don't have the skill to do this. I don't think I have the willpower to deal with the worst of it.
You underestimate yourself, Delphine. You always have. Gaia chose you. She turned you on our moon. She picked you for this. The only one holding you back is you.
Maybe she made a mistake because she's starting to like get a little shaky. I couldn't even fight off a Bane.
He reaches over and places his hand upon your hands because you had a bad teacher.
I didn't want to do.
It's not as simple as black and white, Delphine. You're not going to conquer everything you encounter. And you're still so very young for a guru. It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes experience. But as long as you stand in your own way, there's nowhere to go. Can I ask you a question?
She'll nod.
How long has it been?
Since I used.
He doesn't answer.
I haven't been able to leave the cairn since that happened. So since the 25th.
You're making good progress, but I don't think that's your intention.
I asked Ray to go get me some so that way I won't be useless in the mission coming up.
And you think you're useless without it?
She just holds up her hands and they're just shaking, tremors going through her. Her body is at the point where it's starting to ache. And like you could see in her palms where she's just like been gripping her hands so tightly that just there's crescents from her fingernails just indented in the palm.
Am I useless?
She just looks at him then very confused as to like the outrageousness of that question. No, that would be like telling Stakes she was useless.
That's right. We have a handicap. Ours is physical, and so is yours to a certain point. The difference is, you can get past yours. Ours will never change. But you aren't useless because of your struggle. You aren't useless because you haven't used. Sure, you may think you're more clear-headed. You may think you're more focused. But you're not. In fact, Delphine, this is probably the most clear-headed you've been in a while. Yes, you're shaking, bouncing between cold and hot, digging your fingernails into your hands. But I think you're thinking more clearly than you have in a long time. And as long as you think about something else other than what you need, I think you'll know that.
We're fighting a really bad leech with, and it can infect us. I'm supposed to provide cover from others coming over while they deal with the bigger leech. I don't know. I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to fight them off. Like, what if I fuck up because of my withdrawal? What if I get one of them killed? What if I get Stakes hurt or whatever? Like, I don't want me being a liability to affect anyone else getting hurt. Wouldn't it make more sense for me to just use so that way I won't risk any of their lives?
But you are risking their lives. As clear-headed as you think you are, you're not. Not when you're using. It's a liability. It's a dependence. You need to trust your pack to be able to hold their own. That everyone is going to do their jobs. And truth be told, even sometimes that's not enough. Everything might be going exactly as planned, and it can still turn. Believe me, I saw it with my own eyes.
The minds.
Yes. You can't protect everyone, but you can protect yourself. And in doing so, you are relieving them of the need to protect you. This burden you carry, you share with your pack. But this is a burden, one of very few that you can choose to unload. But you have to choose. And you have to stand by that choice, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter how many voices are telling you that it would be easier, that it would be better. That Bane that you speak of, it's drawn to you because you draw it to you. Can I tell you something very personal?
She wipes at her eyes and just nods.
When I was in my late teens, I had a fight of my own. Harrowing. It was through rehab that I finally was able to unload that burden. And in doing so, that's when Gaia chose me. why I opened the ranch. It's why I spend very little time in the city. Because even all these years later, I'm still an addict. I know this about myself, but I don't let it define me. I let the good I do in exchange define me. I let being a guru define me.
I wanted this to be a fresh start for me.
It is.
Don't make rehabs for Garu though. Like, I wouldn't be able to like go to a traditional rehab like my fucking parents wanted me to. I would hurt. It's probably a good thing that Stakes did find me because I could have changed at a fucking rehab clinic.
Yes, you could have.
I could have killed people.
But you didn't. And while you're right, you can't go to a traditional facility. There are alternatives.
Well, like Charles fucking getting the leash out again. Which, yes, he did do.
And you thought my teaching was bad.
She sighs heavily. I don't think neither of us were ready for each other.
That, you are absolutely correct.
I was fresh off of defying my parents, and you were trying to do exactly what they were trying to do to me, so I resented it. I fought against it, and I still am, because I don't like feeling like this. That Bane made me see myself, and I didn't like it. You know, I don't look in mirrors anymore.
But we need them, Delphine, to be good theurges.
Didn't like what I saw.
Then change it. Don't take the easy solution. Take the difficult path. It's far more rewarding.
I don't want that pain coming back.
That's up to you. It's not going to go away. Not at first. But as long as you starve it from what it wants, what it needs, it will diminish, just like what you're feeling right now will diminish.
She fiddles with her sleeves again and kind of side glances him. So even Fenris couldn't kill it?
No. I understand the appeal of the power behind Fenris. And yes, there are things that he can do. But spirits aren't destroyed. They're just sent back.
Made it go away that night.
Sure he did.
Well, it was stuck. I couldn't call out to anyone. I was too far away, and I was scared, so I let him.
I understand. When given the opportunity to have your problem solved for you, it is in our nature to allow it, to find the easy solution. But those solutions just cause more problems. And they
What he
dull.
was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is that what he was for you guys? An easy solution?
He was a manifestation of all of our frustration and anger. He broke through to some of us, which caused the conflict in our sept, which caused a great deal of pain and loss, which only caused more anger. We didn't see him as a solution. In fact, we didn't even know he was there. He was just representing what we were all thinking and feeling. Anger. Fury. Indignation.
That's how I feel now. Ever since I let him help, just everything about what happened makes me angry.
You let him in. But that anger was going to be there regardless.
I always held that over you guys and hell. That you guys were working for him or not standing up to him. And I didn't trust any of you because of it. And here I am, and I fucking did it too.
You are still
Sure.
human, Delphine. You are still capable of mistakes, as were we.
And she'll just look at him. Sorry.
I'm sorry too. You needed something I wasn't capable of giving. Not in the way I should have. But I'm capable now. It's not like I have much else to do, he says with a dry chuckle as he moves his shoulder up and down to the stump of his arm.
She chuckles a bit at that. I'm sure Eliza likes having someone more closer to her age around.
Even I think she's old.
She'll chuckle a little bit at that and wipe at her eyes, and she'll take a few deep breaths and try to basically hold her hands a little steady, just trying to fight off the shakiness. And she'll look at him again. Shawn, I need help.
It's yours.
And she'll hug him.
He wraps his one arm around, giving a gentle squeeze. You don't have to do this alone. But at the end of it all, the choice has to be yours every day. Every day, even after the physical symptoms have passed, you have to wake up and make that decision. Some days will be harder than others. But as long as you keep making it, I promise you, things will be better.
She'll just nod. Try.
I know you will. And on days when you don't feel like you can make that decision, find me. I will help you.
I might be a raging bitch, just fair warning. But you remember
That's
that.
different from hell. How? It's good.
This time you can't. This time you're not allowed to give up on me.
This time I won't.
Better not.
When I was at my weakest, broken, and I felt like I'd lost everything, you sat with me. I will never forget that.
Just glad that I was able to warn at least you and Stakes survived.
Yes.
I just wish Red and Aaron.
I know. I do too. But it happened. But we're still here. We still have value and use. We still can get to the other side and make sure it wasn't for nothing. Make sure it meant something.
I've gotta also just fucking make sure that Rick doesn't get away with it.
On that, we agree.
Everyone wants to kill him, but I don't think it should be that easy.
They don't understand what it is to be a slave to something truly evil. I want to believe that there's some good in him still. I want to believe that there is a guru worth redeeming. I want to believe that he can be brought back from that side, just like I was brought back from a very dark place, just like you will be.
We could get him alive. I think that would be the smarter move. I think he needs to face judgment for what he did.
Yes. But that's not something you need to worry about now.
All right. Then the real question is, how the fuck am I going to make it through our mission and not fuck anything up?
First, you have to be honest with yourself and your packmates about what you're capable of, what you can do. Second, you have to be okay with the fact that certain things aren't going to be accessible to you as easily. And you have to not get frustrated if it doesn't work right away. You have to be patient with yourself. You are capable of more than just one or two things. Use all of the tools at your disposal. Use all of the gifts Gaia has granted you.
She'll think about it and nod a little bit. Worried about me being able to throw stuff, but maybe we'll figure something out.
Find tools to assist you. Find other ways. If you worry that you have something holding you back, maneuver around it. Use that brilliant mind of yours. For you are clever and witty and tactful. No matter what I tried, I couldn't stop you from running off from the house to score. And believe me, I tried.
Yeah, you didn't lock every window.
Clearly. But that's what I'm talking about. Use that resourceful mind of yours. Come up with clever solutions, ways to work around what's holding you back. Something as simple as a ball thrower that's used for pets can be used as a weapon.
Yeah, I could get one of those. That's not a bad idea, actually.
And now your mind begins to work clearly.
Thought about t-shirt cannon too, but that might be a little much.
Might be a little hard to source or locate in a short period of time, but you're thinking. There are no bad ideas.
I'm sure Forge knows of some bar in Ybor that does weird shit like that.
Maybe.
She'll take a deep breath and just sit in the chair.
Breathe easy for now. With each deep breath, push out the negative thoughts, the thoughts of doubt, the thoughts of panic, the thoughts of fear, the thoughts of your substance. Make room in your mind for other thoughts. And don't be ashamed of the shakes. Don't try to hide what you're going through. Nobody faults you if you're making good decisions.
She kind of shut her eyes as he started talking because it felt very meditative, like kind of like guided meditative vibes from going with it. And when he pauses there, she'll open her eyes again and just exhale the breath she was holding. I try to make good choices, but got my own demons that make it really hard. I'll try. It's gonna be very, 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 very hard. Because already part of that little voice in my head is already saying, nah, fuck that. Don't. Forget it. But I'm trying to ignore it.
Are you willing to trust me?
She'll nod.
He extends out his hand, palm up. Take my hand.
She'll take it.
He closes his eyes. And he begins murmuring something below his breath. And as he does so, you see his skin start to grow pale. His cheeks start to sink in. He then takes a large gasp in as you feel the shaking and tremoring leave your body. You are now down to -1 on your dice rolls, as long as you are not seeking your substance.
She'll look at her hands at first, just seeing them still, because that's very bizarre for her to see her hands still, especially right now. And she looks at him. What did you do? And she looking at him too, looking concerned. What did you do?
I took on some of your burden. We are empathically linked. So now, what happens to you happens to me for a brief period of time. I can't remove the burden in its entirety. My body might not be able to handle it. But I can lessen the sting, at least for a short while, and take on some of your cares as they happen.
She wants to protest immediately just because she doesn't want to put her bullshit on someone else, but she knows that it's giving her a better opportunity to be more level-headed and capable during the mission. And she knows that right now is important, and he probably also given everything that's happened, needs to feel useful in some way because he is a stubborn old man in her eyes, even though he's not as old, even close to Eliza's age, but old in her eyes. He's a stubborn old man who probably wants to try to find something that he is still capable of doing and will likely not let up. But she will look at him and say, the second we're done with the mission, you cut that out, okay?
Okay. He then reaches down into his pocket and pulls out his cell phone. He thumbs it with one hand and then holds it up. And you can see that the camera is in selfie mode. Look at it.
She will struggle at first. Like, has her head ducked down at first and is trying to flick her eyes up, but it's painful. She doesn't like seeing herself, but she'll use that little bit of effort left in her after everything, and she will force herself to look at her reflection in the selfie mode. And it's very clear right away she doesn't, her expression shows that she does not like what she sees. She doesn't like seeing the dull hair. She doesn't like seeing the sallow face.
Except she doesn't see any of that. There are no bags around her eyes. Her hair is thicker and fuller. Her cheeks are still sunken in just a little bit, but not nearly as bad as usual. And there's actually some color to her skin.
She looks at herself confused, but then just a little. Her eyes start watering all over again. I look more like myself.
Yes. And you can have all this and more with time.
She is having trouble forming words just staring at herself, but she'll like swallow thickly around that lump in her throat and just nod.
He then breaks your gaze at the phone as he turns off the screen.
Try.
I know. You will. And as I said, when you feel like you can't wake up and make that choice, find me.
Okay. And she kind of like takes a deep breath and will look at the phone, and she'll just take the phone from him and shaking her head, just like thumbs through it and sets up, goes to the settings to set up Face ID. Just, you're making it harder on yourself. It can scan your face to open now.
Thank you. I was never very good with these things.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, child. Now, I need to lay down. But I'm still here. Take a few breaths in your more healed self and appreciate them for what they are. Because you can have that if you choose it. With that, he slowly pushes himself up from the chair, and if you thought he looked frail before, he looks even more frail now as he shuffles towards the door to the RV and opens.
She'll get the door for him just because she feels bad right now.
He turns back and gives you a smile before heading into the RV. And this is where our story comes to a close this evening. But not without one last scene. In our final scene, we find ourselves in the private back room of the Split Helm. Several of the Ratkin are passed out, either on the table or on the floor, except for Skeeter, who is still awake. He's looking at his cell phone and at a list of text messages. He scrolls through until he stops on a text message addressed to a 734 number, Michigan. The message reads, "He's in Tampa." And he swipes and deletes the message. And this is where our story comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. We are taking a week off from Hellhounds next Thursday, but you can come back, or next Friday, but you can come back to us the Friday after that, the 21st, at which point we will be back at it again. Tune in to Rage Across Tampa on Tuesday to see more of what's happening in the Tampaverse. And if you're interested in joining the Tampaverse, apply now, as was shown in the video before. But for these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.